Hello, friends, I hope you're doing well. Welcome to this new video where we will explore together how to cultivate your roses, focusing especially on how to care for them, including pruning. We'll go through all the categories of roses. I hope you enjoy this video and find it helpful. If that's the case, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click on the little bell to be notified of my new videos. Also, remember to give it a thumbs up to encourage me to continue translating videos from my French channel if you enjoy them. Finally, leave me a comment to let me know which cultivation guide you would like to see in the next video or if you have any questions. I'll be happy to respond. Alright, without further ado, let's start the video. Enjoy watching. 1. Presentation. The rosebush is a deciduous shrub belonging to the Rosaceae family. It can be found in the form of a bush, on stems, or even climbing. Bush. Less than 3.94 feet. 1.20 meters. Shrub. 3.28 to 6.56 feet. 1 to 2 meters. Climbing. 16.4 to 19.7 feet. 5 to 6 meters. Miniature. 9.84 to 17.72 inches. 25 to 45 centimeters, on stems. 2.95 to 5.91 feet. 0.90 to 1.80 meters. Weeping rose. Flowering occurs in early summer for non-reblooming varieties and from early summer to fall for reblooming varieties. When to prune. In summer, after flowering for no reblooming varieties. In early spring for reblooming ones. Why prune? To promote abundant flowering and stimulate growth. 2. The soil. The exposure to sunlight. Roses thrive in clay silica soils, characterized by a sticky texture in rainy conditions, yet well drained and quick to dry. They are averse to excessively calcareous soils, which may lead to issues such as chlorosis, yellowing leaves, and weak plants that bloom poorly. Compacted clayey soils can result in root asphyxiation, while overly light sandy soils may leave plants parched. However, the latter can be easily improved with the addition of manure, humus, and a peat mulch. Roses thrive in clay silica soils, characterized by a sticky texture in rainy conditions, yet well drained and quick to dry. They are averse to excessively calcareous soils, which may lead to issues such as chlorosis, yellowing leaves, and weak plants that bloom poorly. Compacted clayey soils can result in root asphyxiation, while overly light sandy soils may leave plants parched. However, the latter can be easily improved with the addition of manure, humus, and a peat mulch. 3. Preparation before planting. Ideally, prepare the soil several weeks before planting by carefully digging or, if the soil has never been cultivated before, performing thorough cultivation. Regarding rose preparation. On the day of planting, never let the roots dry out in the open air. For plantings until the end of winter, trim the branches of bush and stem roses to about 7.87 inches, 20 centimeters. For spring plantings, trim to approximately 3.94 inches, 10 centimeters, 3 buds or shoots. Climbing roses should be pruned to around 15.75 to 19.69 inches, 40 to 50 centimeters, and shrub roses to 7.87 to 9.84 inches, 20 to 25 centimeters. Next, dress the roots by first removing damaged parts and then trimming them all to a length of 7.87 to 9.84 inches, 20 to 25 centimeters, for roses purchased with bare roots. Finally, just before planting, praline them in a special mixture of clay and nutrients, praline. 4. Planting. Start by digging a hole corresponding to the volume of your rose's roots. Spread out the roots or place the root ball at the bottom of the hole if the rose is in a container, pot. Position the graft point 1 or 2 centimeters, 0.39 to 0.79 inches, below ground level in cold regions and at ground level in temperate regions. Burying the graft point helps limit the formation of suckers. Then, Close the hole by gently shaking the rows to allow the soil to settle well between the roots. Tamp down lightly with your hands. Create a watering basin around the base, and water generously, regardless of the weather. Finally, build a small mound of soil at the base of the rows, 10–15 cm or approximately 4 to 6 inches, to protect against drying out. Redo when it disappears due to repeated watering and hoeing. Advice before pruning. Always cut approximately 0.2 inches, 5 mm, above a clearly visible bud, preferably oriented towards the outside of the rosebush. This way, the resulting branch will help fill out the silhouette of your rose and not clutter its center. Make the cut slightly angled, in the opposite direction of the bud, to prevent rainwater from running down onto it. Removal of suckers. Suckers are vigorous shoots that appear to emerge from the ground next to your rosebush. Their foliage is finer and lighter, and their thorns are finer and denser. They need to be removed as they deplete the rosebush. Moreover, they do not produce the same flowers as the grafted variety. Usually, they are wild roses. For a bush or climbing rose, clear the soil around the base of the sucker to be able to cut it off at ground level. Pruning of bush roses. Stem roses. From the following spring after planting, select the 3 or 4 branches with the largest diameter and cut them above the second or third clearly visible bud. Remove the other branches and dead wood. The following autumn after planting, reduce the branches by about half to clean up the rosebush and give it a neater appearance. Every year, when frost is no longer a concern and before the buds at the base have started their development, select the 6 or 7 branches with the largest diameter, preferably young ones, and cut them above the second or third clearly visible bud. For more vigorous varieties, cut longer above the 4th or 5th bud. Then, eliminate all other branches and dead wood. Deadheading. Removing faded flowers promotes the emergence of new buds in reblooming varieties. It is essential to do so throughout the flowering period. Cut the stem above the first well-formed leaf with a clearly visible bud at the base. For standard roses, it will be necessary to remove vigorous shoots that appear on the stem by cutting them off at the base. Pruning of shrub roses. The 2 years following planting. At the end of winter, remove dead wood and weak shoots from the center of the shrub. Then, reduce the length of the thickest branches by 2/3. Every year, starting from the 3rd year. In March, cut to the ground 1 or 2 large diameter branches that flower less, too old. Reduce the main branches by 2/3 of their length and their side shoots by only 1/3. Also, shorten by 1/3 the shoots from the previous year, lighter in color. Remove dead wood and excessively weak shoots. Pruning of miniature roses. Every year, at the end of winter, early spring, remove dead wood and the oldest branches, less floriferous, that are two-branched. Cut the others above the second or third clearly visible bud, trying to cut above a bud oriented towards the outside of your rosebush. Pruning of climbing, reblooming. The 3 years following planting. At the end of winter, early spring, reduce the main branches by 1/3 of their length and cut their side shoots above the second or third clearly visible bud for the weaker ones and above the 4th or 5th bud for those with larger diameter. Every year, starting from the 4th year. At the end of winter, early spring, remove 1 or 2 of the oldest branches, which flower less. Reduce the length of the thickest branches by 1/3. Cut their side shoots, depending on their vigor, above the second or 5th clearly visible bud. Eliminate dead wood and excessively weak branches. 10. Pruning of climbing. No reblooming. 1 year after planting. After flowering, cut the branches that have bloomed above the second or third leaf, starting from their base. Every year, after the summer flowering, as soon as the vegetation has developed well, cut the lateral branches above the second or third leaf from their base. Remove 2 or 3 older branches that flower less and are sparse at their base. Also, remove dead wood and excessively weak shoots. 11. Maintenance care. During the first few months after planting, make sure to water generously once a week. Some varieties may start their growth more slowly, but don't worry. As long as the bark of the branches remains green, the rosebush is alive and well, even if the signs of new growth are not immediately evident. When watering, avoid wetting the flowers and leaves by favoring watering at the base of the rosebush, ideally with a drip irrigation system. Subsequently, adjust the watering frequency based on weather conditions, but ensure that each watering is ample to allow water to reach the tips of the roots. Mulching is always beneficial as it limits evaporation and maintains a cool environment around the base of the rosebushes. From the emergence of the first leaves, don't forget to apply preventive treatments against rose diseases using care products specially designed for roses. For mild aphid infestations, a simple solution of water and black soap in spray form is effective. Remove faded flowers by cutting approximately 0.4 inches above the first well-formed leaf. After late spring to early summer flowering, use a fertilizer specifically formulated for roses, loosen the soil, and water generously to stimulate new vegetative growth. This video is now complete. Thank you for watching until the end. I hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful, or that it has inspired you to embark on avocado cultivation. If that's the case, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click on the little bell to be notified of my new videos. Also, remember to give it a thumbs up to encourage me to continue translating videos from my French channel if you enjoy them. Finally, leave me a comment to let me know which cultivation guide you would like to see in the next video or if you have any questions. I'll be happy to respond. See you soon for the next video. Goodbye.